Okay, hello everyone. Today's video I will be going through some general tips and tricks for M11S. Then I will go through my M11S log that I got rank 5 in. That's been rank 5 for like a few days already. So I think I did pretty well. And then yeah, I'll just go through first the tricks and then go through the thought process on what I'm thinking of during the fight. And if you follow these tips and tricks and general guidelines, you should very easily be able to reach good passes, I think. Um one extra thing to note is that I actually run Samurai on 2.17 GCD, so no skill speed at all. Cause I think basically I think Samurais that hit harder, it makes more sense to me because Samurai is a very strong 2 minute class right now. So yeah, I believe I like to play no skill speed Samurai, but very few people do this, so your GCD might vary a lot from mine. But anyway, let's get into the tips and tricks. Okay, so the first trick is to hit your positionals before it becomes harder later on. So you know Samurai has the Gecko combo, the Kasha combo, and the Yukikaze combo, right? So sometimes when the boss is standing still, you can go and hit your Gecko combo and Kasha combo first, so that when the boss is flying around, you can just use your Yukikaze combo, which has no positional. So yeah, this is just a tip to hit positionals easier and better. The second tip is if you're going to use MP, such as during Majestic Meteor, you should try to do a yaten before that. This will simply increase your MP's potency from 100 to 270, which is simply a gain of 170 potency. So do try to do this. Sometimes it's not possible, but if you try to do this, it will increase your damage. Just a flat increase. The third trick is very niche, but it's quite cute and it can be used sometimes. So when you use Ogi Namakiri, right? If you use any GCD other than Kaishi Namakiri, it will usually break the combo and you lose Kaishi Namakiri, which is a ridiculous loss. The only exception is Higambana. So you can do this. Ogi Namakiri, Higambana into Kaishi Namakiri. Yeah, you can see in the clear vault later when I go through it. Okay, then tips and tricks for weapons. For X, for X, right? I like to use Midare and Tsubame to help me, and a bit of it helps for sword also. Cause X is the biggest AOE and it's hard to hit the boss using max melee normal GCD. So Midare and Tsubame helps a lot here. Yaten Yaten can help with Scythe. I'll show in the video later. And during the 6 weapons, if you third eye on cooldown, you can get a third eye proc from one and only. This simple samurai stuff, just mash third eye. Okay, then Majestic Meteor, I'll go through the tricks more in detail during the video. But okay, the first one is after Flatliner connects, if you have a Tsubame, you can roll your GCD very cleanly after you land on the floor, even without gap closing to the boss. Then the next is Ogi Namakiri can hit the boss from an insane amount of range because it's 8 yards. Okay, just to talk about the range a bit. Your normal melee GCD is 6 yalms range. Your Midari Tsubame is sorry, your normal melee GCD is 3 yalm range. Your Midari Tsubame is 6 yalm range, and your Ogi is 8 yards. 8 yalms range, and 8 yalms is super high. So yeah, with Ogi you can hit the boss and get flung to the same platform. With Midari you can hit the boss and get flung to the opposite platform. Yep. I'll show all of this in the video review later. Okay, and when the boss returns the arena to normal using Crown of Arcadion, yeah, the boss hitbox will shrink back to normal. So make sure you are close to the boss to make sure your GCD doesn't like whiff because he became smaller. And Stampede trick, yep, simple true north stuff. Okay, then let's take a look at the analysis. So very simple, just keeping buffs up, whatever. 100% positional. This fight, I think there are some spots which are a bit hard, a bit scary to hit positionals, but I think 100% positional should be quite simple. Usually, all of my runs is like I hit either everything or I miss one or two. So yeah, you should try to hit all the positionals in this fight. Then the GCD loss is only from this is me jumping into a tower, getting hit by flatliner, all those, and this is MP and waiting a bit to get closer after triple tyrannical annihilation. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Then yeah, Meteor is the usual. Just try to avoid Yukikaze. And the tincture, okay, so for some context, I did this in a aim to clear PF. So I decided to follow the group and do 0, 6. This is before flight liner pod, and then 10:30. But as you can see, the boss died too fast, so the pod got cooked. But what can I do? This is PF. I'm not sure what's the kill time anyway. Okay, without further ado, let me just go through what's happening in the video. Okay, I will just talk about my thought process and everything. Do take note that the GCD is at 2.17, so you cannot copy. If you're on 2.14, you cannot copy what's happening in this video directly. Okay, simple opener stuff. At about 15 seconds, I press meteor, then I pop sprint also because I want to hit the boss as soon as possible. Right? So when the countdown starts, I pop sprint and meteor at 15 seconds and tune off at 5 seconds. The usual stuff. Okay, usual opener stuff. Standard. Third eye on Crown of Arcadia. Okay, so this is a positional thing. If there is no astro, right, all the buffs will last long enough. So I choose to hit my positionals earlier so that I won't need to like last minute adjust to the X or Scythe for Raw Steel Trophy. So I choose to hit Gecko and Kasha first. Then I go into position to Ogi. Yep, just like that. Third eye on the Raw Steel. Okay, so over here I choose to hit my two positionals first because he's going to turn. If I start with Yukikaze combo, he's going to turn and I might miss a positional here. So I choose to finish my Kasha and Gecko combos right here. The timing just lines up well. The moment I hit my Gecko, I third eye, it will connect with the X. Okay, so for this one, the timing is always just nice that I can finish my Yukikaze combo. So it looks scary, but I know I can hit the Yuki and back off. So I always do this. Yeah, it's just a safe timing. Okay, at this point, I check what is the next weapon. So remember, Midare is good for X and sword because it helps you deal with the max melee range. Okay, I'm not some god who can like I don't know, like greet X 100% of the time without getting hit. So I do prefer to have Midare or Tsubame stock for it to keep things safer. So Midare is good for sword and X, but it's bad for Scythe because for Scythe you want to hit the boss and move quickly to the next spot. If I have Midare stocked up and I'm forced to Midare, that's no good, basically. So anyway, I see there's is sword, so I hit my next GCD, which is Hakaze. Then I use Midare to like safely greet the next GCD. Okay, Midare here. Okay, then I know the GCD will line up nicely, so here I'll use Yaten to go to the Scythe. Okay, wait, no, sorry, I didn't do that. I used Tsubame instead. Yeah, because Tsubame has extra range, right? So it helps me get to my spot easier. Let's take a look at that again. There are lots of ways to do weapons, but yeah, it's just based on your judgment. Yeah, I use the extra distance so that I can walk to my spot a bit easier. And that's all. Okay, this positional to hit is rather sketchy, but usually tanks just face it to center, so it's fine. For context, this party is a full PF party. It's just a clear for 5, so I'm not sure what's going on either. I just like go with the flow and try my best. Okay, I do my side positional here and hope it turns correctly. Yep, okay. Then the usual, I use Meikyo to make sure my dot rolls. Okay, once again here, I check where the boss is facing so that I can hit my positional nicely. So, this is I'm playing on the JP data center. So what they do is they start on C waymark and they rotate clockwise. So what I do is I notice that when I'm going to walk clockwise, I will have an opening to hit my back positional here. So I refresh my dot. I do the Kasha first, which is the side positional, and in anticipation of my movement, I will hit my back positional soon. Hit the back positioner. Yep, okay. Okay, third eye here. Check what's the weapon. Is sword. Midare. Greet the GCD. Okay, scythe. Okay, this is the yaten tech. Basically, if the timing is correct, right? Yaten, if you angle it properly, yaten will land you right in the spot you need to take the protean. Okay, let's watch that again. See, this allows me to roll my GCD quite cleanly. Tune off here? Nope, no tune off. Okay, I just do it normally. Then Tsubame to greet the X properly. Okay, very clean. Notice I did my third eye on cooldown also. Okay, simple stuff. Just preparing for the 2 minutes now. Tsubame just on time to catch most of the buffs. Okay, the boss is being a dummy for a while, so nothing's happening. I noticed Devilman is about to run out, so I do Yukikaze into the gap closer to just push a bit more damage into it. Yep. The boss is still, so I go and hit my positional. Okay, standard stuff. Third eye on the scythe. Okay, so at 2.17, I choose to meteor here. This meteor allows me to do a Higambana using Yukikaze combo later. The timing is just nice. You can see later. This is not considered damage, so you can't third eye it. No point. Okay, 6 weapons is a bit tricky. Okay, I choose to third eye at this moment. If I keep pressing third eye on cooldown, I should have third eye just in time for one and only. So yeah, it's just the usual spam third eye to get more Kenki. Okay, I always choose to dot at this exact moment so that I can use it to greet, whether it's axe, sword, or if it's scythe, I can just walk to my spot and straight away just apply dot anyway. So yeah, this dot here allows me to greet a bit more. Axe and sword a bit better. X, I'm using Tsubame, I guess. Yep, Tsubame. Yaten tech. Nice. True North as needed for 6 weapon phase. I spam my third eye on cooldown. Okay, this is the first X I actually need to deal with without any like Tsubame or Midari nonsense. So because I'm a pretty safe player, right, I'll just explain my thought process in how to deal with X without getting hit. So it depends on when your GCD is rolling. So if you roll your GCD early, you can just go to the X spot to wait for him, and when he flies over to grab the X, you GCD him and back off. That is what a lot of people do. But however, in this situation, as you can see, my GCD is not rolling nicely. If I want to greet it, I have to step like slightly dangerously to try and hit him. So my thought process is, I try to wait for the orange AoE to pop out. Then I try to walk like 1 pixel away from the orange AoE, which I know is in max melee distance. So I try to go as close to that range as possible, then I hit the boss. So that's basically what I do. I stand, if you see my positioning right now, I stand at a safe distance. The moment I see the orange AoE circle appears, I try to move to 1 pixel away from the orange AoE and hit the boss. So not the best, but I did roll my GCD like a bit decently. So True North is still running. So just to take note, if you press True North, it should cover your next 5 GCDs. So if you start on Hakaze, then press True North, it will cover your Gecko and Kasha combos. So you should use this knowledge to plan your True North and GCDing properly. Okay, Midari to deal with the sword. I'm just running. Okay, usually I might sprint, but I want to use the greed tag here. You'll see later. I can deal with the tornado without losing any GCD. Okay, I pop sprint, pop third eye, Tsubame here, boom, and get close. And I roll my GCD like it's not fully clean, but it's good enough. I don't need to yaten MP basically. I heard from my friend that 2.14 on 2.14 GCD you can't do this. But on 2.17 GCD, if you are rolling it very nicely, you can do this, which I think gives 2.17 GCD a decent advantage in this fight. Well, it's for several reasons, I guess, but this is one of them. Do note that the tornadoes are not all the same. If you look at how close the tornado at west is compared to south, yeah, the west tornado is a lot easier to do this on. So in JP data center, D1 needs to bait on the west tornado and D2 needs to bait on the south tornado. I don't it this grid tag is becomes a lot harder to do on the south tornado. So yeah, you can see the distance from the boss to the tornadoes. West tornado is a lot closer than the south tornado. So just bear this in mind. Okay, then if you just smash the third eye on cooldown, you'll get it. Okay, then simple 2-minute window stuff. The tanks always turn into A, so that's fine. I hit my positional here. Standard 2-minute entry. Okay, just a note about Orbital Omen. I always use True North for Orbital Omen. Always. Like, it's possible to hit positionals without True North here, but I just choose to do it. It makes things a lot easier, and I don't need True North at other places anyway, for the most part, so it's fine. Okay, simple Orbital Omen stuff. I pop True North because I just don't want to deal with positionals while doing this mechanic. A bit dangerous. Okay, so Japanese data center does it with healers range melee. So I'm just getting my position out of the way first. So just to know about the pot, right? So like I said at the start, if you're going, I'm helping a aim to clear party here. So I chose to pot at 0, 6, 10, 30, which on hindsight was a mistake, but you won't really know anyway. So I'll tell you my pot timing for 0, 5, 10. If it's 0, 5, 10, I will choose to pot right here after my Hakaze. I mean, it just makes sense, right? So right now I have Tsubame and Midare stocked up with Meteor ready to go. And Higambane ready to shoot out also. So this is a very powerful 5-minute pot if I do so. You can see how strong the burst is at the 5-minute mark, even without pot. Yeah, basically there's a lot of hard hitting GCDs happening right here. Sene, Tsubame, Midare, Tsubame, Higambana, Meteor's Midare, Tsubame. Yeah, there's a lot of powerful GCDs going on. So this is a very powerful 5-minute pot window. Oh, I always tune off here. Just somehow, yeah, the timing is just nice for the Meteor. Don't forget to third eye your Meteor. Okay, all just simple stuff. So for triple Tyrannic Annihilation, yeah, I just simple yaten MP. Then I wait a moment. I wait for the sound and the visual impact to happen before I get close in. And on FF14 analysis, it showed me that my GCD delay in total was 3 seconds. So I'm just by choosing not to MP, I just delayed my GCD by 1 second. Was it worth it or not? I'm not very sure. But yeah, you can choose to MP twice, or you can choose to gap close based on your own timing. It's up to you. Okay, I made a mistake here, which I'll talk about. Okay, firstly, I'm gonna pot here. So I'm not sure why I Tsubame. This is simply a mistake. I should have Tsubame a bit later. Yeah, I pot right here. just after a Tsubame. This is a big mistake. And also, I learned that if you actually keep Tsubame for after he punches you away with Flatliner, you can maintain almost 100% GCD uptime. Yeah, okay, this is an example. Because all you need to do is to take a step forward and your Tsubame will roll your GCD almost immediately. So this will roll your GCD a bit faster than Gyoten. You can try that out also. Okay, let me go back to the video. Okay, over here I'm doing a lot of weird stuff, but I'm not sure whether it's correct or not. Over here I choose to override my dot a bit early. I'm still not sure whether this is a good play or not, but I need to do more research on. Just ignore the Higambana refresh timing for now. Okay, Majestic Meteor, there's a lot of things to talk about. I choose to refresh early because I want to keep Ogi to be able to greet the tower. But I'm not sure whether that's the best play or not. Okay, so in this case I need to fly over. So let's talk about the ranges again. Remember, normal melee GCD is 3 yalm range. Midare GCD is 6 yalm range. And Ogi is 8 yalm range. Okay, so right, if you can see where I'm standing on a particular diamond of a tower. You can see it as 11 o'clock or 1 o'clock. If you're on this particular diamond, at the, like, edging towards the end, you can Midare or Tsubame the boss. This is very strong. And Ogi at 8 yalm range, if you're at where the white mage is standing, you can actually Ogi the boss from here. So this is why I wanted to keep Ogi. It's because that if I want to fly to the same platform, I'll be on the white mage's position, and I'll be able to Ogi the boss from there. Ogi is that long range. So, but I made another mistake here, but anyway. I should have Midare into Ogi into Kaishi Ogi. Or Kaishi Namakiri rather. But I made a mistake and straight away Ogi. I misjudged the timing. So if you see... Yeah, I had time to roll one more GCD, but I messed up. So the way I could have fixed this was I entered the tower and I should have done Midare, Ogi, Kaishi, Ogi again. So yeah, this is just a big mistake. I wasted one GCD into Devilment buff, by the way. Big mistake. That's okay, I can explain the mistake. So yeah, remember on the diamond, if you're on this particular diamond, you can hit your Midare Tsubames. So I should have Midare, Ogi, Kaishi, Namakiri. Okay, and the other advantage is that when you're on this diamond, when you fly over, you will land directly on the boss's hitbox, which will allow you to roll your GCD immediately. It is very clean. Which is also why I suggest that if you're in a speed run, if you want to do speed runs or any form of optimization groups, right, they should make sure that the people with no tethers all fly across to the next platform. Actually, this is an incredible gain for firstly every class that has melee. So this will be the 2 tanks and the 2 melees. And this will be an incredible gain for the casters as well, including the healers. Because if you imagine, if you have no tether, you are flying across to the next platform, and you're already in the boss hitbox, which you need to be in when you bait. So, if let's say a white mage flies over straight into the boss hitbox, they can start glaring immediately. Yeah, the gain is tremendous. Like, if you're in a static setting, you should always set the group to always fly over if you have no tether. It's very strong. But anyway, let's continue. Okay, so what am I doing here? I'm doing Yaten MP to set up the enhanced MP, because in Majestic Meteor, when I go to my position for tethers and baits, usually I'll just MP anyway. So if I'm flying across and I'm just nice in the boss hitbox, I will usually try to GCD Yaten MP GCD. I executed it a bit wrongly because in my head I wanted to Midare immediately, but I was scared I bait the orange marker, so I backed off a bit, thus delaying my GCD. But it's only a very small issue anyway. It didn't cost me anything. Okay, normal stuff. Okay, so it's very nice to stock a Tsubame here. If you stock a Tsubame, here, right, you can, because you have no idea how the pucks are gonna run to bait their pento puddles, right? But Tsubame will help you roll your GCD no matter how badly is put out. Unless they really completely mess up the whole place, then yeah. Oh, one thing about Midare is you want to try to use it as soon as possible here. Because when you're dodging the pento puddles, obviously Midare is gonna be very tricky to do. So you want to get it out of the way first. Then I use the Tsubame here. I throw MP and I get close. Just a note about the fire breath, right? From my understanding, fire breath snapshots on cast finish. So depending on how your GCD is rolling, you might choose to ignore the MP, and the moment you see the cast bar finish, you just get close. But that's a judgment call for you to make. Usually MP is the safer choice. And yeah, it's just a lot easier to do. Okay, then after dealing with the first set of tethers, this is where you use your meteor. Otherwise it's gonna overcap. So just use meteor here. Okay, I just use MP normally. I try and get Midari out of the way no matter what. Yep. Tsubame to deal with the stupidly placed puddles. Then refresh dot manually. If your third eye is correct, your third eye should be able to cover this tower also. Sorry, this stack marker. Well, it doesn't really matter that much anyway, because your third eye can be used on the tower anyway. Okay, once again, you see me enter the diamond, and I can Midari Tsubame cleanly. So that's a good gain there. For this floor, when the boss flings the floor, I just do yaten MP normally. I think there might be a way to time it such that you can get close properly, but yeah, I just yaten MP. Then as he changes the arena, his hitbox will shrink, so make sure you walk forward. Yeah, and do make sure, because at this point the boss can turn freely, so I do suggest True North at this point. So the upcoming True North usages is 1 here, 1 in Orbital Omen, and 2 for Stampede. This should cover the rest of the fight. So yeah, that's Majestic Meteor. Actually, let me go through some examples of ranges that I was speaking about earlier. Ah yes, so just to demonstrate Ogi's range, you can Ogi from like the horizontal part of the tower. Yep, Ogi is being cast completely cleanly over here. You can use it to abuse the range basically at the 2 minute. And it still will catch most of the 2 minute buffs if they buff like on the dancer timing at least. So this is the Ogi example. So let me just show some more Midare examples. Okay, so if you are confident in your timing, right, even if you have to be flung to the same platform, you can go to the diamond, hit your Tsubame, then quickly adjust your position to the other side. But this completely depends on how your GCD is rolling. You cannot do this in every situation, because sometimes you hit your Tsubame and you will be flung immediately. You'll just fly to your death, right? So, yeah, do be careful. Do be careful when you're attempting this. But you can quickly adjust your position to make sure you're flung correctly. I think the next example is... Oh, here, yeah. So I notice I need to fly across. I just simply go there when it's time and Tsubame. Done. So you... By using Midare and Tsubame in such a manner, you essentially gain GCDs instead of using MP. And since I was in the diamond, I'm flung directly into the boss hitbox. I roll my GCD immediately. Very efficient. So yeah, I do push for all optimization groups to use this tech. Okay, so same thing. Oh right, this is where I did the Ogi tech. Okay, so watch my GCDs here. Okay, I'm casting Ogi, right? and I noticed my Higambana has 3 seconds left. So I do Ogi, Higambana, Kaishi, Namakiri. Remember, Higambana is the only thing that can be cast without breaking your Ogi combo. Anything else you do will break your Ogi combo. So yeah, this is just a very cute and niche tech, which you shouldn't see usage at all, to be honest. It's just nice to know, just in case you want to Higambana on nicer timings. Okay, see the orbital omen where I tune off and don't die. Oh my god. Okay, just waiting for Stampede to happen. Nothing much, just AFK hitting the boss. Do note your third eye timing for this one. Okay, very simple. When I'm forced to hit my positionals, I just press tune off. I find my tower priority. So this was a JP park where they weren't doing like one melee in each tower. So there were 2 melees in each tower. We had to fight for it. But if you're selected for tether, I think there's no real way to work around it. You just need to yaten and MP like 2 to 3 times. Or if your timing is good, maybe just 1 time. But yeah. I do meteor to make sure my dot applies a bit better. I should have tuned off here because sometimes the tanks run around wildly here. But the tank was very stable here, so I was lucky. I managed to hit all my positionals without tune off here. Well, I pressed it eventually anyway. Then bait 4-way fireball. My positioning was quite dangerous, by the way. I should not have been so close, I think. And yep, that is most of the video. The last portion of the fight was a bit interesting because I could tell my dancer was saving Devilman for her last pot also. In which case, I wasn't sure how hard I should burst into everyone else's like red buffs. But Devilman is the strongest buff, so I decided to wait a bit. And wait for my pot as well. But yeah, it's unfortunate that I didn't do 0510. If it was 0510, my RDPS would have been a lot stronger, I believe. So as you can see, I just nice managed to get 75 gauge for my pot. And then I do my 5 strongest GCDs, which is Tendo, Ogi, all that stuff. Tendo, Ogi, and Midari Tsubame. And the boss dies. So yep, that is the video. Yeah, so as you can see, the last tincture while scuff, at least I managed to place like a lot of five very hard hitting GCDs into it. And 75 gauge. But yeah. not the ideal scenario. That is mostly everything. Majestic Meteor is very complicated. I'm still not very sure how to optimize it like in the best way. But I guess I'll discover stuff as I go along. It's only been 4 or so weeks into the tier anyway. Yeah, still a lot of things to learn and discover. Once again, just a reminder that I'm on 2.17 GCD, so you cannot copy some of the things I'm doing here. But I think most of the concepts and ideas are still the same anyway, so that's fine. Okay, that's all. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.